Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Revolver Broadcasting's A Few Shots. I'm Joshua Cummins, and this here...
George Louis Rodriguez.
Cheers, Louis.
Cheers.
We got to get in a few shots while we get in a few shots at these political things we're going to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a video here from Kennedy on Fox News, and we're just going to let it rip, and we're going to commentate while it unfolds.
At the pump, making its grand return just before the midterms. That's convenient. Gas prices expected to rise after OPEC member nations agreed to cut global oil production by 2 million barrels a day. President Biden loved...
2 million barrels a day. Cut it. Just cut it 2 million barrels a day from OPEC.
Oh, yeah. It ain't going to happen.
Do you think that would have happened under Trump?
No.
Nope.
Trump is a businessman. He knew what to say and what to do.
Yeah, he would have figured out a deal, right? He would have gotten a better deal. This is a terrible deal. I can't believe that we're just letting these other countries punk us like this. Not only that, but why are we using other countries' oil
when we have our own?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Biden got no bargaining chips. I'm telling you, this man don't know what he's doing. His head is like marshmallows, you know? The wheel's spinning, but the hamster's dead.
Yeah, that's true. The elevator doesn't go all the way up anymore.
No.
Yeah. Well, these rising gas prices is hurting everybody, but I looked it up the other day, Louis, and actually, if we were to use our own reserves and fuel, we could actually run on our own reserves for the next 98 years with no other countries.
Yes, we could.
So why are we, Anyway, we'll continue.
Taking credit when prices went down, but the White House is busy blaming Russia when they go up. Watch.
You've said the president was responsible for gas prices coming down. Is the president responsible for gas prices going up?
The answer is yes. I see her floundering for an answer there, but the answer is yes. He's responsible for the down and the up. The reason they came down is because he used some of those actual reserves that we were, telling him, hey, you need to use some of this.
Right.
So it brought the gas prices down a little bit. The problem is they're still wanting to keep depending on that foreign oil, which still keeps the prices back up. So they stopped using our own and started using these other countries' oil again. And here we go. We can't afford to get to the grocery store to get the food to eat our weekly meals, and can't afford to get to work. So then what happens if we can't eat and we can't get to work? We usually
the way I see
starve
it
and
is
die, right?
Yeah. The way I see it, a lot of these countries, they don't want to go down on oil. They want to break us. They want us to go into inflation because they want to be better than us and bigger than us.
Not going to happen.
It's a lot more nuance than that.
Oh, I'm sure there's nuance.
There have been global challenges that
there's always
we
nuance.
all have dealt with. There's been pandemic and there's been Putin's war. And Putin's war has increased
what
gas
does that have to do
prices
with it?
at the pump.
Other than us sending $40
Remember
billion
that.
over there. Other than us sending $40 billion over there, what does Putin's war have to do with our gas prices?
It doesn't got nothing to do with it. What we're doing is really helping out Putin with the high prices. That's what we're really doing. And we're spending all this money, and we're probably going to lose this war anyway. Who knows?
Well, we're not even in the war. We're just throwing money at it, and weapons, and going, here, Ukraine, here's some help that we can't even afford to do, but we're doing it anyway because our citizens are out here starving and losing their jobs and dying because they can't afford to get to the next paycheck. And, things just keep getting worse and worse here.
Yes, it does.
Suck up fist bump in Saudi Arabia. Biden groveled for more oil production, and the Saudis snubbed us. What was the point of that whole trip? Here with me now to discuss MaxFunds.com.
Okay, so if you're Saudi Arabia, let's just say if you're Saudi Arabia, you're in a position of power there in that particular instance. You can snub the U.S. in that instance because
that's right.
Because Joe Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's Donald Trump, I don't think it happens that way. And it didn't happen that way for 4 years. Even when we had a pandemic going on, we still had $1.98 gas. And I'll tell you why. Because Donald Trump, as you said before, knows how to make that deal. He knows how to make that deal, and this is beyond ridiculous.
This was a waste of tax money going to OPEC and Arabia. It was all a tax. It was a waste of tax money. He's spending our money like it's nothing.
Well, he's only ever known public service. I put that in quotes, air quotes, because he's never held down a real job. I think if you're going to politics, you have to be able to hold a job in the regular market at least 10 years. I say at least 10 years minimum, and really experience what it's like to be with the public.
That's right.
To get to work a regular job, to earn a paycheck, regardless if you come from money or not, just learn what it's like to earn a paycheck. Then you can go into government so you can really make decisions that are impactful for people, as opposed to going, I'm just going to spend this money here or there because this is how I see it from my rich pedestal.
Co-founder and Fox News contributor Jonas Max Ferris. So, Jonas, normally when we're entering global uncertainty and a possible recession, isn't that when energy prices typically come down? What are we seeing?
And they were coming down. There was almost $130 a barrel at one point, and then the Fed started raising rates to cool the overheated, high inflationary economy. And oil was coming down. You saw it at the pump. It was over $5, and now it's lower. But normally it would keep going down. We'd probably get to $50 a barrel and have a mini recession, and then the inflation would go away. But OPEC is not going to allow oil to get that cheap because they made a decision to cut oil production at an already time when you generally wouldn't do that, which is kind of high prices. You'd actually want to try to make money from that. But there's a lot of reasons they're doing it, and there are some of them are more sinister than others. But on one side, we're not very friendly with most of the major producers. We've got some argument, whether it's Iran or Russia or Saudis, Venezuela.
We shouldn't be friendly. Hold on. He says, well, we're not very friendly with them. I don't think we shouldn't be friendly with them. We're making business deals with them. You don't have to be friendly with somebody just because you're trying to be diplomatic. You can be diplomatic and be enemies.
That's right.
As long as you can make the deal, right? Yeah. That's, if you don't like somebody, that's okay. Like, we have people in our personal lives that we don't like, but we get along with them. We figure out how to make the transaction work, right?
Right.
Make the
transaction. He needs to have the right governing
strength,
and the chips. Don't forget the chips, the bargaining chips.
Yeah. Well, and America has a lot of good bargaining chips, and Biden uses none of them because he's too weak.
And you need someone, they all get along on some level. I mean, they have their own OPEC production arguments. And then we want one of them to kick in oil, and they don't really care about us. They care about their organization that is designed to maintain a high energy price. So their countries, which have very little to export except energy, can make as much money as possible. I don't understand why Biden's so surprised by this, but they are helping the Russians in this case and themselves sell at a high price and keep the flow of money going in to counter the recession we're sort of trying to cause but are scared to really cause to fight inflation.
All right, so how do you bring down...
They're just taking advantage of us, getting all our money, try to get as much as they can.
Right.
So they could break us.
And it's just like he said, scared. Scared. That's what Biden is, scared. If he wasn't such a sissy, and I'm going to use that word, sissy, we'd have $1.98 gas right now.
That's right. Just when we had Trump on there.
Grow a backbone. Just a little bit.
Demand if we're entering into a season where people need to heat their homes.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, Western Europe, all over the world.
My heat's going to be on.
So demand is only going to go up. How do you temper that?
Interesting. One of the reasons I think they're doing this right now is we're kind of running out of excess oil that was in this SPR, which we shouldn't have been tapping this aggressively because it puts us in a dangerous position. And now that we're running low on that, if they cut supply, another reason is the West, the EU region, is trying this bizarre way of capping the price you can pay for Russian oil and gas, which doesn't make any sense. It's Nixonian in style. And No, if you are in the oil business or for a country in OPEC, the worst thing you want to hear is you're capping the price of our product. Well, guess what? We're going to cut the production of our product, and that will counter whatever cap you think you're going to do, because now where's your oil going to come from? And then the oil price is going to go to a higher price, and they're going to have to get it from Russia. So to your original question, if you have an organization that's going to crimp the supply to maintain a high price, then we would have to organize with Europe as the demanders primarily, although we produce a lot of oil, and produce and demand less. That's how we would counter that and drive the price down. Now, yeah, we can do it this expensive way with high interest rates, which is going to cause a real estate crash. But at the end of the day, you would want to reduce the consumption of energy. And that's painful economically here, but it's also how you fight back at OPEC and Russia. And
I don't like what he said there. Reduce the consumption. No. No, this is America. We need to heat our homes. We need to get to work. We need to it's not about, dude, this really irritates me. No, it's not about reducing consumption. Okay, maybe in those big homes like Joe Biden's used to having with 16 bathrooms, but for most of us, we have but one bathroom, sir. We have, I know most of last winter, my wife and I just ran our little electric heaters in a couple of different rooms to keep the cost down. Because we knew that the gas prices was going to be super high, and we're probably have to do it again this winter because it's even going to be higher. And you got fools like this that says reduce it.
And if the gas price is high, everything else is going to go up. Yeah. Electricity, oil, food, dog food. It's costing me to feed my dog a lot more than what I used to feed him. Bags are close to $100, $75. It's getting ridiculous with all this.
Yeah, dogs eat better than we do now.
We're doing the opposite. All the states, California, Florida now, doing gas tax holidays. They're giving you money to buy more gas. The UK, who's making a complete mockery of economics and is a joke right now, is basically paying your power bill because it got too high. That's the opposite of what OPEC is doing. What you're saying is we're gonna pay for the bill that's high to Russia and to Saudis and Venezuela because we don't want you to consume less volume. But ultimately, we have to consume less volume in the short run. We also need longer-term strategies for more production, more nukes. But in the short run, because there's a short-term cut in production by OPEC, we would have to hit demand, not subsidize it, and then arbitrarily try to cap the price of Russian oil. This is not economically how you solve this problem. They're actually making sense. We're the ones who can't make sense because we're scared of the voters in all these countries, and we don't want to tell them that you have to consume less energy while we're in this problem.
As Daniel Turner has pointed out, a recession is the worst way to see demand in the energy market. Like that's the last way you want prices to come down. But it may come to that. I just hope at some point the White House, they're so busy giving themselves high five when the price of gas drops. When it goes up, they should take responsibility for that. They should take the blame, and they never, will. A bunch of bad actors and a bunch of gas jerks, but not you, Jonas. Thank you very much for your insight. Brilliant.
So, she's making really good points there. I think Jonas was a little fluffed about the idea of reducing consumption. I get why he would say that, but unfortunately, most of us can't live like that. No. Most of us, like I said, we've got but one bathroom, and we're not able to just curb our usage. We have to be able to warm our families up. We don't have a big old house with 18 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms. That's
right, and the most ones that are going to suffer is the poor people.
Yeah.
Where are they going to get the money out of this? Ever since this high gas came out, you have more gang violence, more robbery, because they can't afford to buy it. So they're going to go out there and get it.
Yeah.
Maybe the middle class can afford it, or the rich people.
Well, I mean, heck, we're on the lowest rung of the middle class ourselves, and we're scraping by. So if we're on the lowest rung of middle class, and anybody, financially speaking, and anybody that financially lower than that bar is still, if we're scraping by, I can only imagine what it's like to just, live on spam.
Right. It's like back in the old days when they had inflation that The old people, all they could afford was dog food, cat food.
Yep. We're going to go back to that pretty soon, looks like.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we're running thin on options. You know, what else can we do to get by? Right?
And we're biting, spending money like crazy. We'll never get there.
Yeah, we certainly won't. Well, this has been a few shots with Revolver Broadcasting. Make sure that you're going to our Facebook page for Revolver Broadcasting. You can actually watch all of our shows and our programming there, including Faith, Family, and Politics, Rodriguez Rants with this guy over here. You have The Laughing Libertarian with our good friend Alan McFarland. And you also have What is the Truth About ... with Danny. So you make sure you get to go check out all those shows. The Rumble links are on that Facebook page. Yeah, like, share, comment. We want to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think about these skyrocketing fuel prices? Does it tick you off? Does it make you mad? You know, I'm certainly not happy about it.
Neither am I.
I mean, I'm driving around in a Dodge Durango, so it's not a small tank there.
I got a 4-cylinder, and it's costing me a lot more.
Yeah.
When it used to cost me a lot less before.
So, yeah, let us know. Comment, right?
Yes, let us know.
And share.
Yes.
Sharing is caring. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And cheers.